So what ended up happening was uh, through this test bench together with this Praxis wet bench, um, had a little bit of difficulty with the EVGA CLC radiator reservoir. I'm probably going to end up going a EK Predator or something like that, something that's a little bit more expandable. But as you can see, I have two um, Radeon, actually old as hell, 7 years old video cards. They're 1 gigabyte of DDR5, I believe. Um, Everything, it took me a while to get it up and running, to get it to post properly. But as you can see, I had to actually turn the radiator and fans, put the fans on the outside so that the in and out um, was facing the actual CPU, because any other way I couldn't turn the radiator fans sideways because it did not reach the CPU, which everyone online was saying. But I'm not real happy with this setup because there's only really two screws holding it in place, and it's covering the input-output ports on the back of the motherboard. Motherboard is Z170 classified K by EVGA. Um, it's kick-ass. The all-in-one is the EVGA CLC 280 millimeter. Um, Currently, there's only 16 gigs of RAM. The heat sinks and the spreader are blue, which doesn't really go with the theme, but I'll get that fixed. As you can see, the video cards are pretty dirty, but they're Radeon 5750s, which are pretty old, but they still get the job done. Probably gonna go the NVIDIA route. There's no real support for Crossfire with this setup. They have to be actually linked, whereas if there's a board with a Crossfire bridge, you could do it, but they're not enabled right now. But they still work. I have one monitor connected to each. I actually did a RAID span partition. If you look underneath, you can see the SanDisk SSDs mounted underneath, and then I have one Intel, which is kind of just hanging out down here in the bottom. It's Intel SSD, which I gotta get that worked out. It's a work in progress. I love this bench though. I mean, there's so many things you could do with it. It's kind of crazy. But the CPU is 6700K. I can't get my hands on the 7700K, but I will be upgrading soon. And then I'm even thinking about getting another workbench, and putting everything this will be kind of the main system, and then, or actually this will be a test bed for what I would put on the next test bench. It'll be a springboard, and this will be a work in progress constantly. But on the new test bench, I'll probably use something like a custom loop all the way through for the video cards and the CPU, and maybe even a chipset on the motherboard. But I love this. The next motherboard will be the Z270 classified, but this motherboard's pretty kick-ass. You can see the temperature of the CPU right now is 26 degrees Celsius. Um, the EVGA software is pretty badass. Um, but keep an eye out as I upgrade and as I switch components and pieces out. I'll keep you guys on YouTube posted. I haven't posted anything in a long time. This is my first build in a while. You can see the old Antec skeleton case, which served me pretty well. It was over there in the corner, still, with the RAM, CPU, motherboard attached. I really don't know what I'm going to do with that. I may make that a Linux standalone system, put a small build on there, but we'll see. So, daughter's talking in the background.